Good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday, June 3rd, and I can't believe that summer vacation is finally here, and it's June. It is just a little bit crazy to me that it's already June, and there is so much going on. I'm super excited to be here today. This is Lori Bradley, and I am here in St. Louis, Missouri, and I'm excited to show you some Seaside Wishes cards today. But before I do that, I'm going to tell you two exciting things. I am doing a class with my friend Sue Phillip from Sue's Paper Creations up in Victoria, BC. Let me move my thing back here a little bit. There's a little bit of a shadow. And we are doing a class together. And I've posted the link for that, so please take a look at that. We're doing the Labeled with Love bundle and the Country Flowers bundle, and you will receive 4 projects for each one if you buy the bundles. And if you're in the United States, you would purchase that from my link, and if you're in the if you are Canadian, you will order those from your from Sue's link. So I'm excited about that. Can't wait to share those classes. The other thing pertains to my own classes, and usually I give a bonus product for a $50 purchase, and right now, this month, I am switching things up. If you spend $50 anytime during the month in my online store, you will be invited to a Fun Fold class, and each month I'm going to do a Zoom class with a Fun Fold, and you will receive in the mail 3 card kits. It wouldn't be this, but it would be all the pieces to make the Fun Fold, and it'll be 3 different cards, but it'll be the same Fun Fold. So I'm looking forward to that. A bonus class is always a great idea. So if you spend $50 during the month of June, you'll be invited to my card class, which will happen in July. So the month you earn, you will be invited to the class the following month, just so I can get the kits shipped to everyone. So I'm excited for that. So today, let's get started on our Seaside Wishes. If you're here, give me a shout out. Tell me where you're watching from. If you've known me for more than an hour, you know that I do love the beach. The beach is one of my favorite things. This is still making me crazy with the shadow on my paper. Sorry about that. Let's get that. There we go. All right. If you know me for literally more than an hour, you know I love the beach. So the Seaside Wishes bundle was right up my alley. And it is actually my Card-cierge Card Club product this month. Let me show it to you really quick. Sand dollars and starfish, a little bit of sea glass, some sand speckles. It's just a nice summery set. And like I said, summer vacation is here, so I automatically think of the beach myself. And so it comes with the stamp set, and it comes with a hybrid embossing folder. And if you haven't seen the hybrid embossing folders, there's the embossing folder, looks like a regular embossing folder, but then it has a piece, and this piece cuts out the sand dollars. So when you're done, you have your sand dollars embossed and cut out all in one swoop. You don't have to run it through twice. I had somebody tell me last night that they'd always just embossed it and then used the die cut, but you don't have to do that. You can actually, on the side that has the Stampin' Up! Writing, the die fits right around those sand dollars. So then you put your paper, and this one's already been cut, so let me show you. You put your paper on there, and you close it, and you run it through your embossing machine as usual. This side embosses it, and this side does the die cutting. So then when you're done, you have the sand dollar pieces that have been embossed and cut out. It is so cool. I'm not actually going to show the actual process of that today because it shakes my table, and I don't want to shake my table today. I don't want anybody to be dizzy. So I've already done that part, but it's a super cool system that they came up with to do that. So let's get going. got several swap cards when I was in Mexico, and this is based on one of the swap cards that was by Hattie Nelson. And I switched it up a little bit, but I wanted to give credit that she was my original, the original card that I got that I wanted to copy. So I'm going to start with a Calypso Coral base, and here we go with Calypso Coral again this month. I promise it's just one, or this week, not this month. I did a long 4 1/4 by 11. Then I have a basic beige panel. This is the new neutral color that was released in this month in the new catalog. It's a great neutral. It's not quite crumb cake. I have crumb cake here as well because sand is sort of a crumb cake color, but you can see it's a little bit different. And it's not quite vanilla. I don't have any vanilla here to show you the difference, but it's kind of an in-between, just a good neutral color. So we're going to have a basic beige panel, and then I am using some designer series paper. There's not a designer series paper for a suite that goes with the Seaside Wishes, but we are going to use some of the paper from the Country Lace designer series paper, and this is one of the pieces of that. It's just a Misty Moonlight petal pink. Actually, let me go ahead and show you this because this coordinates with the Country Flowers bundle that we're using for our class next month. So you may see some of this paper again. It's got a basic beige side. There's only 4 colors in this paper, which is just a nice kind of neutral background. Smoky slate. It looks like eyelet. These match the eyelet embossing folder, which is also a fun texture background. Oh, that's the same one. Another basic beige. Misty Moonlight, and on the back, the petal pink with the polka dots. But yeah, it is a great little neutral paper. Let me get to the last 2 out of the back here. You can use it for backgrounds. You could use it for a mail card. The smoky slate stripe is a nice, just a basic pattern. And then the petal pink eyelet. And that's the back of the piece we're using today. So only 4 colors, which is easy to match. We're not just using those 4 colors today, but we are using some of them. This is what I have. I have a Calypso Coral panel that will go on the front, and then we're going to stamp some on our white panel. I have an extra one just in case I mess up because you all know that happens. And I went ahead and I die cut and embossed a sand dollar, and I used the basic beige for that also. Sand dollars get whiter as they die. When they're alive, they're a little bit darker. So I went ahead with the darker color, and I went ahead and stamped and die cut a Calypso Coral starfish. So that's ready to go. So I'm going to put 3 stripes on my panel, and I'm going to try to do this so that they're even, because even is a good thing, right? So 4 1/4, half of that would be 2 5/8. And actually, let me flip my paper. Can I scoot it up? No, I can't scoot it up far enough. I'm going to flip it around. So my paper is upside down, but this way you can see the 1/8 of an inch lines. So it's 4 1/4. So 2 5/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that right there is my very center. So I want to put a strip. These strips are 3/4 of an inch. Use the liquid glue so I can move it. So 2 5/8, and I want this strip to go right across in the middle of that 2 5/8. There we go. So we've got that. Now to evenly space it, since I have my ruler there, I can go ahead and just put the same distance on both sides. So I'm gonna go with let's just go with 1/8 of an inch. I don't want them to be too far apart. So I'm just gonna go one little line over. And then we'll put the same distance on the other side, and we will have 3 stripes that hopefully, whoop, I moved it, hopefully have the same spacing. There we go. I'm going to look at it, and since I use the liquid glue, I can scoot that over a little bit if I have to. All right, so we have our 3 stripes. That one's in the center, and then we have 1/8 of an inch between each one. All right, so that's going to go directly onto our Calypso coral base. So I'm going to go ahead and do that one. I have a big event this weekend. My friend Sarah and I are doing an all-day retreat at her school, which is one of my favorite events. We do 3 or 4 times a year. So I'm looking forward to that, but it's a lot of work. So we've been working for weeks, and so I can't show you my boxes, but I have a pile of boxes next to my table here that are ready to go to her school tomorrow, so we can load those and be ready. We're not using this. We're actually using the Beauty Lava Bounds. Is that what it's called? Lava Bounds bundle suite with the paper and the gems, the in-color gems. So I'm excited about that, and actually I will show you those next week because I don't want to spoil it for everyone who's coming. All right, first of all, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my sentiment in the bottom right corner, so that way I know where everything else will go. It's always so hard for me to see when it's not right underneath me. All right, so I did that in Misty Moonlight ink. My stamp's new, so it's a little bit dark. All right, and then, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and put a starfish up here. I don't really know what color starfish are. I think they're not blue, but that's what we're going with today. And then the other thing that I want to do is I want to add just a little bit of a little texture. So I'm going to add some little, I'm going to call them sand speckles. I'm not actually sure what they're called, but I'm going to stamp those just in random places around underneath where our sand dollar and starfish will be. Not sure what I need there. All right, so the base is stamped now. Let me set these aside. And we're gonna put our sand dollar, oh, actually, let's go ahead and glue this down. I made this mistake when I was making my samples. I put all the pieces on and then tried to glue the panel onto the card. And it's harder that way. I'm just gonna tell you, it is harder that way. So. So for this month, usually I do for my card club, they usually get designer series paper, gems, ribbon. It just depends on the suite and the bonus, the bundle that I choose. This month, it's going to be a little bit different. I'm going to actually give a part of the pack of the lace DSP and an embellishment, and then I've got another surprise sort of bonus that I'm going to do for that. Because every month it is approximately a $25 goodie bag, and you use those products to make your projects. So this month I'm going to give some matching cardstock as well, so you can make beach cards to your heart's content. All right, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pop this piece up. I want this one to be a little bit popped up. So let's use some dimensionals. And I'm going to put one right there so that that sand dollar stays up as well. If you're just joining me, welcome. Thanks for joining us today. We're looking at the Seaside Wishes bundle. That is the bundle that I've chosen for my Card-cierge card club this month. And for $39.50, you can get this class. You'll get all the pieces to make it. You'll have to stamp your own things. And if you're in my card club, these might not be the exact cards. I don't want to spoil it for everyone, but it might be. I haven't fully decided which ones I'm going to use yet. So if you're watching and you've already joined my card club, and if you close your eyes if you don't want to see any projects. And if you are not a member yet, this is your chance to see the kind of projects that we make. I'm not showing for sure we're going to do a fun fold. We're going to do a really awesome fun fold, and I'm not going to show that today because that would take way too long. But you'll get 6 to 8 projects, depends on the difficulty of the projects. This time I believe there will be 7. There'll be 3 that you make 2 of each, and then the fun fold will just make 1 because it will take a little bit longer. All right, so I have all my starfish, I have my words. The other thing that I want to add, and I think these scream beach as well, the flat adhesive backed pearls. These are so pretty, and they're flat and they look like they belong at the beach. So I'm gonna add some of those to my project. I'll put one right in the middle of my sand dollar. I use a big one that looks kind of like a little piece of sea glass maybe. And then let's see, and one right there. And there you have card number 1 with the coral and the misty moonlight. The misty moonlight will lighten a little bit, but it just reminds me of beachy type things. All right, but card number 2 is a different color that reminds me of the beach. I'm off whack today. Everybody should tell me that my paper is all out of whack. I had a shadow, oh my goodness. All right, this one is the crumb cake base, which is 100% looks like sand to me. So we're gonna use the regular half sheet, 8.5 by 5.5 card base. Fold that, I'm gonna set that aside. Kathy, don't order those gems. Don't do it. Don't do it yet. All right, so I did this one. I did this as You Absolutely Made My Day. And I did the words in Coastal Cabana, but I'm wondering if I should have done them in crumb cake instead. So I'm gonna try them in crumb cake for this one, and I'm gonna see which one I like better, or you like better, or you can vote. And here, I'm gonna stamp this really quick. Get my crumb cake ink. I always put my words on first, just so I have plenty of room. And that way I don't have to stamp over something to get my words on my page. All right, and let's see which one we like better. I'm having trouble. Because y'all know I'm a hot mess. Crooked seashells and starfish don't matter, but when you put your words on, you really want those to be straight. All right. All right, I'm gonna go with the crumb cake, just because. All right, so I'm going to put some starfish on my thing. I don't want it to be full on. I don't want all my starfish to be the same color, and I want to kind of mute those just a little bit. Goodness gracious, my paper. All right, so I'm going to stamp off and then stamp a couple of starfish on my card. These are the big starfish. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to do a couple of the small ones. And I might, let's see, do one of those full on. No, I'm going to do them both full on so that they're different. Oh man. All right. So the big starfish are lighter than the small ones. Then I want to make some more sand on this one. So instead of the basic beige, I'm going to use the crumb cake. But again, I'm going to stamp off because I don't want it to be this dark. I don't want it to be as dark as that one. So I'm going to stamp off on that as well and just kind of fill in. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to add my sea glass pieces. So that way, sorry, get my order straight. Right. Just looks like little rocks, little pebbles. And I'm going to put those kind of around. There's no right or wrong to that. I'm just going to stamp them. Overlap a little bit. Let's see. Maybe right there. All right, I just wanted to add a little bit of that summer splash color that I'm going to use as our panel. then, okay, now I can give you the crumb cake spots. And again, stamping off. And again, there's no rhyme or reason. And we're going to cover up part of these anyway because our pieces are going to go right here. All right. Now we're going to attach our other pieces. We have, I already cut my sand dollar, and I also stamped and cut the small starfish because just for ease, but we're going to go ahead and attach this panel. This is actually the card where I might have learned my lesson earlier. That attached. All right, so I've got my piece attached. Now, when I attached this one, I did not use adhesive sheet on the back, and the adhesive sheets make a sticker so you don't have to worry about putting glue on those skinny little pieces. Made that mistake, and I used some glue back here behind this star or the sand dollar so that I could cover that. On the one that I'm going to use right now, I did use adhesive sheet on part of it, and I went ahead and peeled that off so you didn't have to see me pick out the pieces. But I used the adhesive sheet, and it's sticky on part of it. And I need to push out a couple of pieces here. So when I took this one out, the pieces did not come out quickly. I think I was in a hurry. We have out-of-town company coming, and we thought they were coming on Saturday, but their plans changed, and they're actually staying here tonight, which was not on my radar. So things have been a little chaotic at my house today. Or more chaotic than usual, if that's possible. Okay, so I went ahead and I put this piece of, it's coral, I think it's coral. Put that down, and then I'm gonna add my sand dollar. Have trouble with my sea species sand dollar. There we go. Put that next. And I didn't cover my whole coral with the adhesive sheet. Part of it's loose, but when I put this sand dollar on there, it's going to cover that up, and that dimensional is going to hold it down. All right, then I'm actually going to cut, no, I think I'm going to put some glue on a couple of his arms. I'm going to use liquid glue because that's easier for me than the regular adhesive on small things. And then I think I am going to cut just a teeny little strip, like literally a teeny little strip of dimensional to put underneath one of the other arms so that when it sticks off of the sand dollar, it won't fall, it won't get caught as easily. So I put that tiny little strip right there on that. Is it an arm or a leg? Maybe it's a leg. I don't know, whatever appendage that might be. And I want to make sure that that piece is off. All right, so let's go ahead and attach this panel to our card base. I think the summer splash and the crumb cake look very nice together. All right, then we need some gems, so let's add some pearls. These pearls are not new per se. They were in the catalog last year, but I think they were kind of hidden. A lot of my ladies were not interested or didn't notice these, so I think they're very pretty. So we're going to use them. I'm going to put another one in the middle, and there we go. So which do you think? Do you have a preference on the crumb cake ink or the summer splash ink? I think they're both good choices, actually. I could use either one and be happy. Okay, card number 3 is basic beige base. And for this one, my background, I went ahead and I used the embossing folder on the white panel. And so but I didn't do it on the whole one because I'm going to put a piece of designer series paper across the bottom. So I didn't want to do the adhesive, the coastal, it's not coastal, it's Summer Splash. Summer Splash, one of the new in colors. I think they'll both work. So I appreciate your input, Kathy. So I embossed this with the thing. I'm not going to cut these out. I want my background to have some texture. So we're going to go ahead. I'm going to put this piece of designer series paper right across the bottom. In the middle. All right, if you're watching, do you have a favorite adhesive? Do you like the Stamp & Seal? Do you like the Tombow, the liquid glue? Are you a different adhesive? Some people like the Seal Plus. I had trouble with the Seal Plus. It's really sticky. So if you want to be stuck to something, that's the perfect adhesive to use. But I just had some trouble with it. So goodness knows we don't need Lori to have trouble with anything else. All right, we're going to go ahead. I'm going to go ahead and put this panel onto our Misty Moonlight panel. Uh-oh. There we go. I was going to say it was circling there for a minute. All right, so we have our embossed at the top panel with the designer series paper at the bottom. Well, we might as well go ahead and put this on our card because we're going to have some layers here, and that'll make it bulkier and harder to put on there. Go ahead and attach that to our card base. All right, I will set that aside for a second. Actually, I won't set it aside. I'm going to use it. We've got 2 sand dollars, and these are the smaller ones. On my other card, I used the biggest one. On this card, I used the biggest one. So on this one, I'm going to use the other 2 sizes. I'm going to use the medium and the small one. So if you run it through one time, you get 3 sand dollars. I'm going to go ahead and put the first one down. Go do this one. Just going to put that kind of right in there. Now, I did do the oops, and I did not put adhesive sheet on the back of this one, so I'm going to have to put a little bit of liquid glue. And so what I did was I just put a little bit of dots right in the thicker part of that spongy type look. If you have if you use adhesive sheet, that's the easiest possible way. But I also have used a sponge, like a regular kitchen sponge, and put some Elmer's glue in it, and then tapped my whatever I wanted to glue onto that. That also works, whatever method you prefer. Hopefully I got enough glue that that'll hold. And then my other one, I'm gonna put some dimensionals on, just a couple, and I'll make sure that one of those dimensionals sits on top of that piece. So that dimensional will help hold that coral sponge. I'm not sure. I need to look up my C terms, I think. All right, now the next thing I need to do is I need to stamp my sentiment, and I die cut this from the Cheerful Daisies bundle. It's just the sentiment stamp set that's in that bundle, but it fits our words perfectly. Your friendship is the best gift. I like that a lot. All right, and I die cut too because, you know, safety first. Hold it down just a little bit, make sure that ink transfers. There we go. I did it. Didn't even have it right in front of me. That's quite impressive. Okay, that one I'm gonna have. Put dimensional on that side and adhesive on this side so that it lays even with that sand dollar. So that way it's flat on this side and this side is raised the same amount as the sand dollar. Okay, and then I have one sweet little Misty Moonlight sand dollar. No, starfish. And again, we're gonna use one of these skinny little pieces of dimensional that I cut. The new mini ones are great, but sometimes they're not quite small enough. All right. Tiny on the back, and then I'm just gonna place that maybe right down there. And then the other embellishment that we have that is also kind of screams beach to me is the linen thread. So I'm just gonna make a linen thread bow, tie it around a couple of times. Oh, there's a knot. Get rid of that. Skin. Notice it wasn't my bow making that was the problem. It was a problem with the linen thread. Our youngest son is finally home for summer, and I threatened him. I'm like, you have to be quiet between 11:30 and noon today. And he's been doing a great job. Actually, the other threat was he had to clean his room. So hopefully all of that is happening right now, and he's doing that because my whole house is quiet. I threaten everybody. My husband, I said, if you need a drink, get your ice right now before my class starts because that's annoying. All right, so thank goodness they've been quiet. All right, so I've got my linen thread bow. I'm gonna just attach that with a quick glue dot. And I did not today, but there are also sand dollar stamps. If you had a white panel for the inside of your card, you could easily stamp a sand dollar right on the inside, or decorate your envelope, or whatever. Actually, let me show you. I'll just do it on the basic beige. We'll do it tone on tone. Show you what it looks like. But there's two sizes of stamps. There's a large sand dollar and then a smaller one. I'm just going to use the smaller one here. So I'm going to use the basic beige ink on the basic beige cardstock so you can see what that looks like. Just right on the corner. These stamps are not, what's the word I want? Oh, they're not fully solid, and that will dry and look better than it does right now because my ink pad is juicy. It'll, the look will soften, but that's how it's kind of a mottled look. That's the right word. You can kind of see on the cover even that they're not a full solid image. They've got kind of a dimension to them. So so that'll dry and it'll be great on the inside. And there you have it. So here are 3 cards today. Get my mess out of the way. I'm not sure, like I said, how many of these will actually be our card club cards. I'm sure that one of them will. I'm not going to say which one yet. And then I'll have 2 others plus, like I said, the fun fold. If you're interested in Card Club, I will post the link. The link to get the Seaside Wishes Card Club, the deadline is June 10th. So next Tuesday is the deadline to join this month's club. If you join after that,